What's up, YouTube? It's your boy M8trix21 back with yet another video. And today we're gonna start a new kind of series. I may do like one video every week for this one. It'll be talking about video games. We'll go over 3 video games: one from the past, one that I'm playing now or the present, and one in the future that should be dropping maybe soon. Who knows? So we'll start things off this week with the Jet Set Radio Future for past, Doom: The Dark Ages for present, and for the future we'll be talking about College Football 26, which drops this year. Let's get into the past and a game that I've always liked, which is Jet Set Radio Future. Jet Set Radio Future was dropped on February 22nd, 2002 in Japan, and in North America it was dropped on February 26, 2002. It was an exclusive for the OG Xbox, and one of the first games I got on my Xbox. Actually, it was the first game I got on my Xbox. This game was the sequel to the Sega Dreamcast's Jet Grind Radio, which dropped in 2000, and it was supposed to be for the Sega Dreamcast, but with Nintendo getting out of the hardware business, it was moved over to Xbox, which I think is dope, because if it didn't get to the Xbox, I probably would have never heard about this game, and I probably would have never picked it up. It was based on a futuristic Tokyo where you battle the oppressive Rokoku group using rollerblades and spray paint graffiti. And I just think the gameplay on this one was so different, so out of the ordinary for something that I had seen at the time. The colors were great, the character design was great. It used a kind of a cell shading design, which looks amazing. The characters looked like they were graffiti themselves and while spray painting graffiti. The most memorable thing about this game was the soundtrack. It had some amazing songs on it, which to this day I still kind of sometimes find myself singing in my head. But at the end of the day, I think this game was really ahead of its time. Really fun game to play. Even for a casual gamer, much like I am, I'm more of a casual gamer nowadays. But Jet Set Radio Future to me really set the boundaries for something that was really dope. I have seen it released on a standalone disc by itself, but the one I was able to get that came with the Xbox at the time was a 2-pack, which has Jet Set Radio Future and Sega GT 2002. This is another game that I really enjoy playing as well. But Jet Set Radio Future to me was the gem of this 2-disc, and one of the best games I think to release on the original Xbox. Now, I did pick this version of it up recently because I don't have my original anymore, and I was attempting to play it on my Series X, but of course it doesn't work on a Series X. It's not this game is not backwards compatible with it, so you do have to get an original Xbox. I'm not sure if it'll work on my 360. I might have to pull it out of storage and see if it does, but either way it go, definitely one of my favorite games from the Xbox, the original Xbox. Though we never really got a true follow-up for this game, Nintendo did try to get the license and try to create a sequel to it, as well as Sony later on, but it just never came to fruition, and it may never come to fruition, because I think they said, the creators of the game kind of said they just moved on and never really wanted to go back to it. We didn't get a true sequel to this, but we do have a game that's kind of similar to it, which is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is not associated with Jet Set Radio Future, but it's as close as you can get to Jet Set Radio Future, I would think. And to me, it's just missing, I think, the soul of Jet Set Radio Future. But it's still a really good game. But at the end of the day, it ain't Jet Set Radio Future to me. And I think that, like I said, going back to what I said earlier, definitely one of my favorite games to ever drop on the Xbox. And that's pretty much what it was. Like I said, you spray paint, you grind, use rollerblades with really cool characters, and you spray paint and the graffiti all this propaganda from this Rokoku group, and then you use the spray paint to actually defeat the enemy. So at the end of the day, it's a really unorthodox game that I really enjoy playing, and I wouldn't mind, like I said, this is a game I still would play now to this day. So for a Matrix score for this one, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a really dope game, but it's some games that are better than this. But at the end of the day, this is just one of my favorite ones of all time. So 7.5 out of 10, which is pretty dope for a Matrix score. Let's move on. So for the present or game that I'm playing right now, and this game just dropped, and yeah, I do have my controller for this bad boy, is Doom: The Dark Ages. Definitely a really cool game that just dropped on May 15th, 2015 on Xbox Series X, S, and PS5, as well as PC. And this game is amazing. It is on Game Pass, so if you just want to play the game, if you have Game Pass, you don't have to purchase it. You can just download it through Game Pass. But this is Doom, and this is a really good Doom in my opinion. It's still the first-person shooter game that we've come to love, with a lot of fast-paced action and a lot of enemies. But this one, to me, kind of slows it down just a bit and kind of relies on the story mode, which I do enjoy. I do enjoy this story. And as a casual gamer who hasn't beaten the game yet, I'm maybe like a third of the way through it, It's dope. It's dope, man. I love the enemies in it. The waves of enemies, the different things that's going on. Like the waves of beating these enemies is pretty good. But like I said, Doom: The Dark Ages is one of the games that I knew was going to be good, and I'm happy that it is good. This compared to the Doom of 2016 and Doom Eternal from 2020, I would put it above both of those. But both of those games to me were a little bit more fast paced, a little bit more wild and uncontrollable, I would say. And I still do play Eternal from time to time now on my Ally. But at the end of the day, I think this game is a little bit better and a little bit cooler, and I can't wait to finish the storyline on this thing. Like I said, it's a really still has that fast paced action. The Doomslayer is as badass as ever. I mean, he's just one of the coolest characters that you will get in any game. Kind of second only to, I'm not gonna say second only, but not as cool and badass as Kratos from God of War, but he is on that level. He's approaching that level. The shield saw, one of my favorite weapons in a FPS that I can remember. Just the way you can rush with it, you can use it to slice and dice. That shield saw is pretty cool. And then the different level of different characters and villains or hellspawn that you fight through this is crazy. There's a lot of different characters, different fighting styles, a lot of different powers that they have, and it's really nice. I love the Titans, I love the bosses, and everything about this game has been really cool so far. I can't wait to beat this game and see how it goes. Like I said, you can always put that on Ultra Nightmare mode and play it on that, but I ain't ready for that. At the end of the day, this thing's a really enjoyable game that you can play casually, or you can play it just straight through as a hardcore gamer, and I think it's dope. So for my Matrix score for this game, for Doom: The Dark Ages, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Hey, it could go up from now on out, but it could also go down. But right now, it's an 8 out of 10, and I'm only a third of the way through the game. So let me know how you feel about Doom: The Dark Ages if you played it yet, because I think it's a pretty cool game. And now for the third portion of the video, which will be future games that get to release. We'll talk about College Football 26.
To Saturday Lights, Chapel Hill, to Pasadena. It crackles down our spines.
And so for this one, I can't really talk about what I think of the game and how really give it a score, but I can talk about what I want to see from this game and compare it kind of to what College Football 25 did. So this will be released on PS5, Xbox Series X, and S, and it will be releasing on July 10th of 2025. So, like I said, this is the follow-up for College Football 25, and you can see they're going to be doing these every year. Now, the thing I would say about 25, which I did like the gameplay, it's what you expected from an EA Sports football game, so that was pretty cool. It is kind of uneven, but I guess the unevenness is kind of more closer to real life. You're not going to get a team like Kennesaw State beating Alabama, and I mean, if you pick Kennesaw State or Ohio versus Alabama or Georgia, not Ohio State, but Ohio versus one of those teams, it's going to be tough to beat them. It's going to be super tough. So the team prestige really does matter in that. You're not going to play with a small school against a power school and think you're just going to dominate them. And from my personal experience, you can't get lucky if you're just that guy, but at the end of the day, it's kind of tough. But that's something that you can't fix. You can't really even it out more like an NFL game because it's just not, the talent's not on the same level. But the one thing I do hope they do kind of go into and fix, and I'm pretty sure it's a licensing reason why they can't do it, is to make the players like they used to be in the old college football games customizable. I would be nice to customize some players, especially when you're recruiting, kind of customize recruits and stuff like that, because me personally, I like to doing the kind of stuff with the like story modes or dynasty and stuff like that, and building on that and being able to customize characters and players, even players that are current, but of course they're locked because they're real people this time. But even in Madden or 2K or something, you can customize real players. I don't know why they decided to lock it for this, but hopefully in the future for 26, that stuff is unlocked. You can customize the game a little bit more and play how you want to play it. So hopefully that's the case. Other than that, I think the game should be good. It should be pretty close to 25. It should be just better graphics and better, smoother gameplay, hopefully. And they do just a better job of, like I said, trying to even it out a little bit more so where you can play with a smaller school and be a little bit more competitive against a bigger school. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be a cool game. It's dropping on July 10th. If you like college football, I'd say definitely pick it up. If you like Madden, I think it should. Once again, this is like an EA Sports football game, so it's pretty much the same thing, just with college teams. So let me know how you feel about College Football 26 down below in the comments, and that's what I think is going to be a good game for the future. So, like I said, just highlighting 3 games. The first one for the past was Jet Set Radio Future. The current winner is Doom the Dark Ages, and for the future, College Football 26. Let me know what you want to see for the next episode of... I hadn't thought of a name for this yet. Let me know what games you want to see in the future for this series. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these games and if I'm right about these games. But that's all I got for you on this. So make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell as well so you never miss a video. It's your boy M8trix21. Peace. Talk to you all later. Perfect.